Hello, hello. Okay, hold on. Anyways, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, let me just get started. Okay. Oh, Mikey says I forgot. I've been trying to deal with stress. I'm not necessarily stressed out, but I've been trying to deal with the effects that stress has had on my body over the past few years. So I've started supplementing with adaptogenics. I would say that it's helping my hormones. I don't know why you guys need to hear that. All right, let's get started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers, also for those of us who find ourselves on this channel without any Pisces in anything. You're probably an empath and you're probably needing messages from your soul. Okay. So I asked what this reading was going to be about and what I heard. Things are changing and the way you see things are shifting. There's a lot of change in the world right now. Okay, that's just a given. The way the world is functioning, the way we are seeing and operating within that world is changing. Change is good, or it could be bad. Change is generally good, but the way we perceive it and the way we react to it is what could determine whether or not it's a good or bad change for us, right? I'm going to pull some cards. So I'm not even going to look while I shuffle because every time I've cut the deck since I started today, all I see are major arcana cards. So makes me a little nervous. All right. So I'll surprise myself there so that I don't fight the deck. Let me just shock myself like that. Oh my God, I almost got it in my drink. Oh, shoot. Imagination. All right. So you've been telling yourself a story. Immediately, that's what I get. You've been telling yourself a story about something. And whatever the story is, it's just a totally made up scenario that you have. I'm wondering if there was a situation that involves another person and you didn't get a chance to ask the questions that you needed to ask. You didn't get a chance to get the closure that you believe you need. Notice how I said you believe you need, okay? You didn't get the answers. And so in the absence of those answers for many Pisceans and empaths, we blame ourselves, okay? First and foremost, that's what we tend to do for every single situation. Our knee-jerk reaction is, did I do something? Was it me? It was me, wasn't it? Am I the drama? I don't know, baby boo. Are you the drama? Probably not. Probably not. But because you didn't get the kind of information, confirmation, clarity that you were seeking, you decided to just go balls to the wall and just make up your own story of how it's your fault, you did something, yada, yada, yada. Stop it. I'm talking to me too. Stop it. Please, please stop. Halt that behavior, that is always the thing that initiates periods of self-sabotage, okay? If you haven't recognized that that's what happens when you go into that type of mindset, let me just say it to you point blank then. Whenever you start that, you then follow it up with self-sabotage. Let me unplug my other mic. Okay. You then follow it up with self-sabotage. So now that you're aware you do that, you need to take the steps to stop doing that. Okay. Intensification in reverse. This is telling me that whatever really intense storyline you've told yourself, it's now going to begin to chill out. It's beginning to be like you're tired of this story you keep telling yourself. You're tired of the same things you keep going over and over in your mind, and you're just tired of it. I'm glad. That's a good thing. This is not justification for you to attack yourself. This is part of the process of healing and letting go. Part of that healing process involves letting go of whatever fictitious story that you told yourself. I hate to tell you this, but you're not so powerful that everything is your fault. You're just not. No one is. Unless you're someone who's really that toxic, you know, you're not that powerful. That everything that goes wrong in your life and the people's lives around you is your fault. We have to let that go. You have to. You have to go through whatever process that you need to go through to let it go. For some people who really are that toxic, how can you tell if you're the toxic one? Well, first off, toxic people never want to admit that it really is them. They're the ones that have the highest tendency. Anytime something is wrong, they're very quick to point out how it's everyone else and poor me. So if you do that, where, conversation starts and you're very, very quick to point out, this person did this, that person did that. And I just, it's not me. You're toxic. There's a high likelihood you are very, very toxic. Okay. And especially, and I'm speaking in general terms here, right? If you're getting offended that I'm saying this, I see you. I see you. It probably is you. It probably is you. Okay. And go ahead. You can go on and tell all your friends, oh my God, this psychic girl on YouTube was totally calling me out. What a bitch. Okay. Anyways, fertility. Now, you are this fertile land, this fertile soil. You are the soil with which your garden uses to grow. Okay. The garden of your heart and mind. You are the soil. You are what the plants anchor into. If you go ahead and poison the soil, the plants will also be poisoned. Okay. If you are using, I remember one time I decided to live on a farm for a little bit, test it out. And there was something that was growing on the property. And I had spoke to the owner, and the owner was telling me, yeah, you just, get about a gallon of diesel fuel. And immediately I was like, what? He says, get a gallon of diesel fuel and just pour it into the roots of these plants that we don't want growing. And I was just like, you want me to pour diesel fuel into the soil? And he's like, yeah, diesel will kill everything. And I was like, won't it kill me too? He goes, oh, of course you have to wear gloves and, wear the proper protective gear so that it doesn't get on you. But yeah, no, just use diesel fuel. And I had to tell him, like, my children are extremely sensitive to chemicals and whatnot. Like, I'm concerned. And he's like, oh, you might not want to use diesel fuel. First he asked me, do your kids play outside? Yes, I have all boys. Like, what do you want them to do? Stay in the house? And he's like, hey, maybe you don't want to use diesel fuel because that will stay in the soil. I was just like, see, so a lot of the things that people will suggest to you, the things they suggest to help you, quote unquote, heal, it's like pouring diesel fuel. It's easy, it's fast, it's quick solution. But is it a solution to poison yourself, to introduce poison into you in order to address something that really, at the end of the day, it's existing in your life to grow you? How are weeds going to grow me? Well, that shit was hard to pull out. It was very hard to pull out, and that's how it grew me. It grew my freaking strength and my stamina. And then, it also gave me an opportunity to use my problem solving skills. So what did I end up doing? There's a couple acres we were on. So we ended up creating a Mario Kart course on it was raw acres. There was, we ended up getting a couple go-karts for the kids, and we created a Mario Kart course. And yeah, you get extra points if you run over the bull thistle. But you can't use the wheels because it'll pop them. So that's how we ended up taking care of that as a family. Okay, union. Oh, fertility and union. Oh my gosh. What is this? Reconciliation, maybe? Let's see. I'm wondering if there's a reconciliation that's going to occur. It's like secret right now. Because look, hand fasting and fertility, right? I'm wondering if there's like an attempt to reconciliate, and that's going to lead to quite possibly a pregnancy. Um, maybe, and it's being kept secret for now. Maybe it's being kept secret for now, so that way, I don't know. Well, some people they like to not let anyone know that they're pregnant right away, at least not in the first trimester. So that way, I don't know. I think some people think it's bad luck, or I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Um, but there's a probability that for some, there's this secret reunion that's taking place. It's one that's leading to, you could say, the birth or rebirth of a connection. I don't know that it's you, though. I don't know that it's you. I'm wondering if you're like sitting and waiting for someone to reach back out to you. I am wondering. I'm wondering if it's that person, you know? Yeah, moon rock sets, it's usually because of miscarriage. Yeah, people don't like to say anything the first trimester. Um, I don't know what to make of that energy. There is some stank ass energy in the live stream right now. There is stank ass energy. It's disgusting. I wonder what's going on. Okay, let's see. Incubation. Oh, pregnancy. Let's ask Bish. Let's see if you're pregnant. About to get pregnant. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Bish, wake up. Bish, are the cards talking about pregnancy? Yes. Is the person pregnant? Yes. Is that person the cross watcher? No. Is this person connected to the cross watcher? Yes. So someone's pregnant. I don't know how that's going to affect you. Okay, hold on. Is this something that we have to be concerned about? No. Okay. So you don't have to be concerned about it. Okay. This is something that that maybe you just need to be aware of, right? Don't worry, don't worry. Um wow. So, fertility, union and incubation, but it's secret. So, I'm assuming this is like a pregnancy or something that um who this couple does not want anyone to know yet. Or maybe it has to do with a cross watcher and a relationship that they exited, and maybe they tried to um, work on it. And then, a pregnancy occurred, which I celebrate all pregnancies. I'm sorry. That's why I'm like, oh, baby. Um, but here's the thing. I'm wondering if the person that they momentarily reconciled with is even keeping it secret from them. Oof. Oh my god. That is drama. There's a potentiality that someone intentionally got pregnant um to entrap another person. That's not good. Yo, that is not a solution. Let me just tell you right now, that is not a solution. If someone doesn't want to be around you, getting pregnant is not a solution because all you've done is guaranteed that you've now involved another person in your bullshit drama. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm attacking you because I actually am at this point. That's a bullshit reason to get pregnant. But I love him. Girl, if he don't love you, get pregnant with someone who does. I love babies. I do. But this is seriously, that's going to be drama. I have never seen a baby born that fixes a situation that was already on its way to not existing. All it does is further complicate things. And you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. If this person does not want to be with you and you choose to bring another life into this relationship secretly, because it kind of carries with it the feeling of this was done secretly, like shadiness going on. Um, that's your karma. Why do I say that? Well, because they'll move on. Whether or not you have a child with them or not, when someone wants to move on, they'll move on. And you never will because you will always watch them enjoying their life in another relationship. However many relationships they have, that's what they will have because that's what they choose. So it's one thing if you are not intending to get pregnant and you do, I mean, you do. But it's a whole nother thing when the relationship, it's ending already. And in this desperate move, you go ahead and intentionally try to get pregnant without telling them. That is not okay. And don't give me that bullshit of my body, my choice. Don't give me that bullshit because that body that's existing within yours now is also part of his. Okay? Let's not allow ourselves to make excuses for our toxicity. Let's not. This is not the channel to be on if you want to have excuses for your toxicity because I'm not the one. I am not the one to make excuses. Whatever happens, if there's a child that's already preparing to have a life with you, I hope that baby is very healthy. I hope that you're able to work on whatever you need to work on within yourself. and that you could provide this baby with the happiest, most stable life possible. I love babies. I just do. Just love babies. But yeah, I mean, we can only hope that once a baby arrives, if there is a child, uh, that everything is kind of worked out, and that co-parenting is something healthy. Co-parenting is something that can be established and maintained long term. Okay. Respect. Allowing respect to be a major factor in whatever it is that plays out. Respect for self, respect for others, respect for situations that are unfolding in the way they're, I guess, supposed to unfold. Um, that upside down masculine. Uh, uh, no comment. No comment. Um, I'm a firm believer that life plays out in the way that it should, right? Um, Everything that you experience, you will learn from. So allow yourself to learn to the highest degree possible. Don't allow yourself to continue to make the same poor choices that you have in the past. Okay. Um, Alchemist, allowing the situation to be transformed, transmuted, all of that. Okay. Be your own alchemist. It's this thing of like turning lead to gold. Wow. So, what do they use traditionally for bullets? Lead, hot lead, right? That's what they say. Hot lead. They're talking about bullets, transmuting, alchemizing that lead into gold. Gold being this conversation that's just golden, something that can help you to become a higher level of awareness that you're capable of reaching, allowing your words to be transmuted from mere bullets, things that are said just to be hurtful, harmful, to attack and defend, and instead shifting it, transmuting it, and allowing your words to be the very thing that can serve as a foundation for crowns and, your return to your royalty, your royal space, your Christ consciousness. Um, Clearance. There's nothing left to clear. You have all the clarity you need. There's nothing left to clear, right? I kind of have this mindset. Like, we can work through anything, but if you have a child with someone else, I'm not going to work through it with you. Why? Because I need to just let that go. You know, they need to just let that go. Um, and it's just a mindset of, are you trying to hold on to something that's just completely done? You'll never get that back. The moment your relationship has ended and they have now started an entirely new family unit with someone else, you're never going to go back to the point where, before they created a family unit with another person. So if what I was expecting was to be able to continue to work things out and maybe reestablish um, a new point of center, a new type of merger with a person, um, the moment that they have a child with someone else, that's the moment of my confirmation that they've moved on with their life. They've moved on with their life. They have this obligation to this baby. because that's how I feel. Like, you have an obligation to children. When you have children, you're obligated to be everything that they need and want you to be, especially in early childhood. So maybe, maybe for some, it's time to really just let that go. Whatever that is, just let it go. Let them live their life without you. Oh, but Emmy, they love me. They might love you, but they didn't love you enough to consider how their actions would forever affect you. So I don't know. I'm not willing to settle like that. I'm just not. I'm not willing to settle for the bare minimum of love. You either willingly gift me with all of you or leave me in my peace. Leave me in my peace and allow me to instead create bonds with people who are capable of and willing to love me wholeheartedly. Me and only me. I'm so into monogamy. You have no idea. I am so into monogamy. Mhm. Yeah, we have all these people who think that they're evolved and they've somehow liberated themselves from some sort of repression, oppression, suppression because, they're into polygamy and this and that, and that's your choice. That's fine. It's fine with me. Um but for me, I'm very old school. I love monogamy. I love being courted. I love, love, love feeling as though you cherish me beyond all other things. And there's nothing else to consider outside of a life with me. Because that's what I offer a relationship, you know? I'm totally not the kind of person where you have to worry about what I'm doing. You have to worry about who I'm talking to and things like that. Like, no. No, no. Like, my husband knows plenty of people are in my inbox sending all kinds of crazy shit. I don't even open it because fuck that. Fuck that. He has no problem with me speaking to other guys in Messenger and things like that if I so choose. Because he knows what's there to worry about. Nothing. I'll leave you before I cheat on you. That's the reality of it. If I'm so unhappy that I'm considering someone else, the fact that I'm recognizing I'm considering someone outside of you is a fact that I have to accept that this is done. Whatever's going on between us, it's done. It's done. I'm not there with you anymore. So it's time for me to walk away. I'm not going to disrespect you in that way. Mm-mm. See, that's a very powerful stance to have because it's me owning my life. It's me recognizing I'm not interested in having connections, romantic connections where I have to worry what you're doing. That's not cute to me. It's not. It's a waste of my time. It causes me to feel as though I'm less than. And if you make me feel like I'm less than, that I have to go out of my way and be something outside of who I naturally am in order to earn your attention, well, fuck your attention, baby boo. There's plenty of other people in this world who would pay attention to me without me trying. And maybe it's time for you to step into that type of mindset where it's like, you don't want to pay attention. That's fine. Then, in my youth, I've had people like, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't call you back. I saw you texted or paged." We didn't have text messages then. Oh, no, it's okay. I'm not giving you no more time though. I'm just not. Like, you want to play that game, that childish game of you asked me to text you and I text you and you don't call me back and you try and make people aware that you're with other people. That doesn't make me jealous. It just makes me aware that you're not worth it. I've always been this way. Like, you're no, nope. I remember there was this boy in high school where, like, all the girls thought he was just amazing. Oh, he's so handsome. Whatever, whatever. And what do you call it? Our siblings knew each other. And so for some reason he knew my phone number, or maybe I gave him my phone number in order to do some sort of school project, or I don't know, something like that. But for a couple of weeks, he was calling me every day after school. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he stopped calling. Okay, whatever. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're out. I don't know. It's none of my business. And then a couple months go by, and then one day he sees me in the hallway in the breezeway, and he tugs at my backpack and he looks really pissed. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? You have such a stink face. And he goes, why don't you call me anymore? I was like, oh, well, I never called you to begin with. And he is like, well, I stopped calling you so you could call me. I'm like, you never asked me to call you. But I said, well, if you wanted to play that game, how'd it work out for you? And he's like, that's messed up. It's not messed up. You wanted to play a game. You didn't let me know we were playing. So I just walked away. And I didn't know. I didn't know if we were playing phone tag. You didn't say, tag, you're it. It's your turn to call me. I just assume you're busy. You're not interested. And I'm carrying on. Carrying on. If you continue to participate in the same games that were played with you, on you from teenage years, I mean, honey, are you still a teenager? Are you still that same teenager who doesn't understand about your value and what you are co-signing for? Is that still you? Because if that's still you, then maybe it's not the other person that's the issue. Maybe it's the mindset, because you're not a broken person. You're not. Just because you choose to believe the feelings that come from places of distortion does not mean that's what you actually are. It doesn't mean that. I don't know. Maybe because I have this extreme proclivity to Aspergerish type behaviors and mindset. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I do believe I have Asperger's. I just I don't understand how people like, if I say something, I mean it. I'm not going to play games with you. If I tell you I don't like you, I really don't. I really don't. And that's probably not going to change because it didn't come from a place of superficiality. There's something intrinsic within you that I don't like, and you're never going to be able to change it. So when I say I don't like you, I don't. It's not an invitation to convince me otherwise. It's a declaration of my truth as I am living it. And when I say I do like you, when I say that I have love for you, it's because I mean it. It's because I mean it. You know, I have love for everyone, but when I'm telling you privately, like, I have so much love for you, that's because I do. That's rare for me to do. But when I do it, it comes from the most authentic spaces within the trenches of my heart's oceans, from very, very deep within me. And I think if you begin to live in a way where you don't say what you don't mean and you don't withhold what you do mean, you can begin really, really freeing yourself from all of these ridiculous patterns that you've been participating in, the patterns that have been hurting you tremendously. Excuse me. Wow. Maybe you are my mom, Maria. Maybe you are my adopted mom. She said, I would love to have a daughter like you. Hey, mom. Oh, my mom's middle name is Maria, by the way. She says, I haven't called or texted my husband since we were 30 something because I called, he rejected my call, so I never called again. That would be another 30 years. Damn. That's totally something I would do. That is totally something I would do. I remember I was pregnant years ago, like years ago. I was pregnant and my husband was at work, and I never call. I always just like, if he's not busy, he will call me. And so the one day that I called and he happened to be busy, or he didn't have reception or something like that, and he didn't answer, I turned my whole fucking cell phone off. Mind you, I was pregnant, so he doesn't know if I've gone into labor. I was so pissed. Okay, you want to play? The one time I call you, I turned my whole phone off. And then when he got home from work, he was so worried. He was so upset with me. And I'm like, what? He goes, why do you have a phone if you don't answer it? Then disconnect it. I don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm not disconnecting your phone. You need that in case you go into labor. I don't give a shit. I will go into labor in the bathtub. I want to give birth at home. He's just like, you're fucking crazy. You need to eat. You need to eat because you're hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm mad. Yeah, no, I'm crazy like that. Like, but you know, the reality is I don't answer anyone's text messages. Let's see. Let's see. 1 second. Un momento. As of right now, yo, I should show you my phone. Let me show you this. Okay, hold up. You guys need to see the gravity of what I'm working with. We're done. Save to photos. Don't judge me. I already know. Some of y'all gonna try and judge me. Stop it. Okay, let's just and I have most of my notifications shut off because I just can't be bothered. Like, why? Stop bothering me. These are the few things that I have notifications for. Okay, so we have 42,284. I don't even know what that's for. 329, and then we have 29, and then we have 3, and then we have 8, and then we have 3, and then we have 25,229 notifications. And then the text messages. I mean, that's just work stuff. 69. Let me make sure there's nothing important in there, though. There's like no emergencies, right? We're still good. We're still good. Anyone who works with me knows that's how I function. If I don't have the phone in my hand when you call, text, message, I wasn't meant to speak with you in that moment. I'm sorry. Call back. Protection. You're protected. You're protected in this space of respect. See? You're protected. You're very much protected. Don't worry. Oh, no. Containment in reverse. Something's going to be coming out. Oh, shit. That makes me nervous. What's going to be coming out? I feel nervous for you guys because it's like, what's going to happen? Oh, shit. Chihu. Oh, my God. Oh, damn. It's a lot of stuff going on. I don't even know what these cards mean, but looking at it right now, I'm just like, yo, it's a lot of coins, a lot of major arcana. All right. Let's get started. King of Coins in reverse, corruption, using any means to achieve the desired end. Unfaithfulness, an old and vicious man, peril, thriftlessness. So I assume that this is confirmation that someone is attempting to entrap another person. Oh no, people tend to not want to listen to me with messages like that. That's up to y'all. You guys are free to live your life, but don't come at me later and be like, oh my God, Emmy, you were so right. What do I do now? I don't know. He didn't listen to me when I had a fucking solution to prevent it. So I don't know. I shall sit back on my laurels and just watch life unfold is my solution. Seven of Coins in reverse, impatience, uneasiness, imprudent actions, loss of money, unwise investments. So I'm wondering if someone is going to get bamboozled into something because they're trying to maximize the profits that they can harvest from this before they exit from it, right? It's up to you. It's up to you. Queen of Coins in reverse, false prosperity. Oh my God, they're just freaking dangling carrots in your face. False prosperity, suspense, suspicion, responsibilities neglected, vicious person, distrustful person, fear of failure. So we have the king and the queen of coins in reverse. Sounds like a match made in heaven. Sounds like a match made in heaven. The two of them are, they're both doing things to each other. They're both basically going to be messing each other up. It is what it is. Okay. The devil in reverse. Release from bondage, divorce, recognition of one's needs by another person, overcoming severe handicaps. So eventually this will kind of come to an end. Whatever it is, I don't know. I don't like to do readings for that type of situation just because it's like this thing of, when you're dealing with people who are so set in their ways that they're going to do whatever they're going to do anyways, like, don't waste my time. Just don't waste my time. Like, you don't need advice from me. You already know what you want out of your life, and this is what you're choosing, So temperance, moderation, temperance, patience, accommodation, harmony, fusion, management, adjustment, and good influence. So I'm wondering if this is someone that's watching right now and they're like, shit, she's talking to me. She's talking about me. And now you're reconsidering all of these things. I mean, it doesn't bring me any pleasure to feel like, see, good, now you're listening to me. Do what I say. No, I mean, it's still a shitty situation. It's still a crappy situation. And I hope whoever is going through this or has the potentiality to go through this, I hope you choose whatever option you have that will bring you the greatest level of peace without having to experience unnecessary hardship, heartache, heartbreak, or any of that. Okay. Sometimes the children that we have choose to be born to us at the ending portion of a relationship simply because they want two sets of parents, maybe, or I don't know. I don't appreciate people who have malicious intent, have this very disrespectful, disregarding type of mindset where, you're not going to take into consideration that the other person does not want to have a child with you. Hi, Norseman. So, just really take control of your life is what I'm trying to get at. Take control of your life. If this is something that you feel strongly is quite possibly a message for you, then take stock. Okay. If you can't trust the person to respect your wishes to become autonomous at some point, you probably should not be having intercourse with them. You probably shouldn't, because maybe that's the issue, is that you're treating them as though they exist simply to what? Fulfill some kind of carnal desire. Go to a brothel. If that's all you want, go to a brothel or something. People who are in agreement with that no strings attached type of, I'm not down with any of that stuff, but I'm just saying, we need to begin recognizing, like, people we don't want to have a child with can't get pregnant if we're not having intercourse with them, right? Bada bing. So you're not innocent there. You're not innocent there. Oh, but oh, shut up. Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm just saying, like, there's the only innocent person who is getting the absolute shit end of that stick in that situation would be that child. I'm not on either of your sides. I think both of you are being stupid. I do. The only side that I'm on is the side of this unborn child. Like, the fucking immaturity on both ends to think that you're the victim when you're willingly participating in shit that is naturally intended for that end result. Like, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And then, okay. Oh, okay. Someone's like, oh, come on, Emmy, don't be all high and mighty just because you're in a monogamous relationship. You've never had sex with someone. I've had boyfriends I haven't had sex with. Why? Because I'm like, I don't know that I want to have a child with you. I don't. I don't know that you'd be a good father. In the event that I did have a child, I don't think I want to be stuck with you for the rest of my life. So yeah, it's not this sanctimonious, I'm holier than you. I really actually am holier than you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, I mean, when did we stop thinking about this? When did we stop actually taking into consideration, like, anyone that I fornicate with could potentially have a child with me? So when did we stop considering that? Right? Okay. So let's just, I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm just saying, like, use some common sense. Oh, and then my husband, his voice comes into my head and he's like, honey, not everyone thinks like you. What's common sense for you is not common sense for most people. That's the sound of me rolling my eyes. I'm just saying. It should be common sense though, because I mean, really. Anyways, Two of Swords. Two of Swords. Balanced force, firmness, concord, stalemate, affection. So, okay, balance is being reestablished. It's a stalemate. It's a stalemate. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. This concept of friends with benefits pops in my head. I don't know that that's a good idea. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but uh, people who agree to the friends with benefits thing, they probably better understand what I'm about to say. Whenever you have a friend with benefits, there's always one person in that equation who will develop feelings, and it will be ugly. Unless you both develop feelings, it will be ugly. One will get their heart broken. Okay. So if you don't want to just be a friend, don't agree to a friend with benefits. Don't. It's not going to convince them that you can be the Bonnie to their Clyde, that you are a ride or die. It's just not. It's going to set the precedence that you don't deserve the type of respect and consideration that you'd like from them. Yeah. That's the message that it sends. I'm not saying that's what you get for, no. I'm saying that's what ends up happening. So if that's not what you want, choose differently. See things differently. Mm-hmm. The Hermit. Counsel, knowledge. Solicitude, prudence, vigilance, circumspection. Self-denial, withdrawal, and regression. This is going to better itself soon. If you are waiting for this individual to come, I can't say that word. I was going to say, and then I thought about it and I was like, oh, no, that's not going to be received properly. I was going to say, if you're waiting for this person to come tramping into your life, no, they're not a tramp. Stop. If you're waiting for this person to come into your life and, you're going to will it into being, whatever made you think your sovereign free will has the entitlement to override another person's sovereign free will. The truth of sovereignty is that if you live as a sovereign and you want people to see you, treat you as a sovereign, you must also see and treat them as sovereignty or sovereigns. Sovereignty is just this thing of, if you are, then that means you see everyone as sovereign. If you don't, then that's why you think the way you do, thinking you can override someone else's free will. You'll learn either way. You will learn through your life experiences what you can and cannot do. And if that's a lesson that you don't want to learn and you continue to avoid it by not taking accountability, then you'll continue to have the same hardships and struggles that have been driving you nuts for the past, I don't know, your whole life. Those are choices being made. I don't believe in victims. I just don't. I don't believe in that victim mentality. And if you need to have someone to co-sign with that victim mentality, I'm not even sorry that I'm telling you it's not going to be me. It's just not. There's no way for me to empower you so long as I continue to enable these toxic mindsets that have gotten you to where you are. I remember there was a situation. It was an in-person situation, so it made it, a little bit more like difficult. Thank you, Megan. It made it a little more difficult for me because the person was literally right in front of me, right? What happened was I was about to go outside. We were inside at this event, and I was about to go outside, and this person stepped right in front of me, and I went like this, and then they grabbed me by my wrist. They grab me by my wrist and they bring me to the couch. Luckily, there was another event participant there who I felt very I don't know, I felt some way towards this other person. Like, I don't want to traumatize you. You know what I mean? And that was the only reason why that wasn't immediately a fist fight. So I just sat down and I was looking at the other person like, I don't want to traumatize you. So this person is still holding my wrist and they're telling me this whole storyline. And they keep saying to me, like, right? Do you believe me? No. I didn't say anything though. And because I was lacking any type of emotions, just completely neutral, completely gray rock. And I was just looking at them like, okay. And then, so then they started, they forced themselves to cry in front of me. I think this was a time before people knew that I have Capricorn. Capricorn in my moon. All right. So this person starts crying in front of me. And so I just said, do you want me to support you or do you want me to tell you the truth? Because those are two separate things. Do you just want to be supported or do you want me to be truthful in, do you want my opinion? Because that's me being truthful. And then they said, I just want you to support me. So I was like, okay, you want a hug? And so I hugged them and they cried more, and then it was just done. But there's no. Even if you're crying in front of me, like if it feels like bullshit to me, I'm not going to co-sign that. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, are you okay? No. I mean, I'm not going to take that as an opportunity to attack you and be like, oh, you're an idiot. No, not that either. But like, no. Whatever memories you have of past lives that you think involves me, if it doesn't resonate with me, like if I don't remember that past life and you're telling me like these are the details, this is what we lived through, and nothing in me is like, whoa, oh my god, you know what I mean? That's not what I lived through then. That's not part of me. That's not part of my um my history as a soul. It's not mine. So I'm not going to lie to you and be like, "Oh my god, yes, no, yes." I'm going to be like, "Do you want me to support you or do you want the truth?" And I'm glad she asked me to just support her, because the truth would have been like, "Honey, I think you're just making shit up. I think you're making shit up because you're trying to manipulate me, and I don't appreciate that shit." Yeah, yep. And I probably would have added, next time you fucking grab me like that, I'm going to manhandle you. Don't ever grab me like that again. But she didn't want the truth. She wanted support. There's a difference. They are different things, support and truth. They are two completely different things. Sometimes they go hand in hand. When a person is in denial with who they are and what they want from you, and they just want you to kind of co-sign on whatever they want, those remain separate. They remain separate. Okay. So keep that very, very clear in your mind. That's how I avoid a lot of the shit that people these days try and pull me into. Like, I'm good. I am so good off of that. So after this, I'm going to pull just 3 more cards. After this, I'm going to do an exclusive talk with my members for the Soul Sanctuary membership. There's quite a few different developments in the world that I feel is important to talk about. There's quite a few different messages that Soul has been giving me over the past few days. If you'd like to be part of that conversation, you still have time to join the Soul Sanctuary.love is the website where you join. The soulsanctuary.love. And there's different tiers of membership. I took my membership off of Patreon. Okay. Here we go. All of this is just whew, let it wash over me. Ready to lose my feet. Da 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 da. Day to day, I'm blind to see. Find out far to go. Card number 21, Sagittarius. I see my littlest whenever he wants to see something. I don't know if he had echolalia. I see. Yes, you can see it. Luck is not chance, it's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned. You're just about ready to hit your mark. The sign of Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter and is a mutable, easygoing fire sign. The ancient symbol for Sagittarius is a half man, half horse known as a centaur, a creature trained in the art of archery who always manages to hit his mark no matter how far he roams. So you're dealing with someone who is a roamer. Thank you, Maud. I'm going to go ahead and post on the screen Ocean Lover's comment instead, just so that people can see the different levels of membership. So So this is someone who has roamed far away from you. And it's almost like not only are they the centaur, this archer of a man horse, man horse, not man whore, but man horse, like, okay. So, because I said man horse, and Michael goes, clarity, clarity, give them clarity. Man horse. Okay. Um, they wandered far. And I think it was running away from the reality of what you represent. I assume this is someone that you already know. You know what I mean? I assume that this is someone you already know, and this is someone who has played some part in your journey at some point. Sagittarians are honest, candid, and not afraid to speak the truth. Since this freedom loving sign is not only offended by the truth, he is often surprised when others take offense. Oh, wait. Since this freedom loving sign is not offended by the truth, he is often surprised when others take offense to his words. You know? Sagittarians are drawn to, okay, no. Let's see. They will go through periods of not being religious at all and claim to not believe in anything, even bucking against authority. Religion and philosophy are concepts they remain fascinated by, though. They will argue for hours about religion, and usually at some point in life, they return to some type of faith. But such a faith always remains an intellectual pursuit. So it has a lot to do with kind of just exploration. Let's see. Sagittarians dislike routine, so are encumbered by the usual 9 to 5 job. They may end up as magicians, fire eaters, tattoo artists, entertainers, publishers, literary agents, clergy, tutors, bookstore owners, and whatever does not require any set schedule. I mean, I think I'd be vibing with Sagittarius because that's all stuff I like. I have friends that are fire eaters. I love it. Fire eaters and magicians and tattoo artists. I actually know quite a few tattoo artists. It's crazy. Um, Sagittarians tend to be rather lucky, but have a habit of not handling money well and will sometimes squander any wealth that comes to them. Money can definitely represent energy, not just fiat. Okay. So it might be this message of embodying some of that Sagittarian energy and not being able to handle energy very well, not budgeting your energy, your focus, your drive. Excuse me. They are confident, which makes them highly attractive and popular, drawing to them what they need. Sagittarians also have integrity and will not go along with anything unfair or underhanded. I know a Sagittarian who's totally the opposite of that. But then they also have Pisces in their moon. So I think they got a toxic Piscean moon, is what happened. Sagittarian energy is just so chill, just so chill. When this card turns up in a reading, freedom at the current time is essential. You will feel the need to fight against restrictions of any kind and want everything out in the open. You want to know where you stand. And I'm wondering if maybe there is someone who is not allowing you to see clearly exactly what their intention is. I think it has a lot to do with this scenario where someone has ended a relationship and maybe there was a business partnership that was entangled into that, and they're trying to separate the finances, and what's going on is the carrot is being dangled in front of your face, like, you gotta deal with me longer so we could do this right, so that we could split things fairly, and we have to negotiate. And then at the same time they're also trying to get some boom boom in the champagne room, and stop going into the champagne room, fool. You're about to get caught up. I'm just saying. Um, anyways. Let's see. If your question pertains to a relationship, you or your partner need to be given extra space and looser reins. You may find yourself especially philosophical at the current time. You love that sense of wildness and being in the open air. Your future looks promising because you're ready to expand and grow beyond your limits. You have to make sure, though, that you allow yourself to actually have permission from yourself to grow beyond your limits, to expand beyond the bare minimum that you've been dealing with or that you've been allotted. Card number 24, Pisces, I believe. I must be a mermaid. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's this want, this need to connect on such a deep level, much like the Nautilus that has all of these different chambers that go deeper into itself. It's almost like this need to explore various types of depth. And in that exploration, what you might find is the truth that you've survived everything, that no matter what someone does, you will survive it. You will survive that. But here's the thing. Is it enough to survive? Or are you looking to thrive? Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to just survive anymore. I've done that my whole life, and it hasn't brought me any sense of um, satisfaction, accomplishment, or peace. All it's done is cause me to become hyper vigilant of my environment. Like who's going to do something next? Who's next? What are they going to do now? What do I need to prepare for now? I don't want to just survive. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt how capable I am of surviving, but I'm not here to simply survive. I am here to thrive. I am here giving myself full permission to exit out of places that confine me and my process of expansion, expanding my awareness of my capability, expanding my awareness of me. It's a very beautiful life and journey when you allow it to be. See, for many of us, we are that centaur, right? And the man portion of us, the human portion, is this thing that has logic, like logically, you know? And then there's this horse portion of us where, have you ever seen how, in certain movies, a horse, they might just wrap the harness around like a twig, like a really small branch on a tree, or they'll wrap it around something where it's like realistically the horse could just totally rip that out and take off running, but it doesn't. If you're not familiar with horses, like what do you call it, uh I had taken horse riding lessons when I was a kid, and it was this thing of like, I was a teen. I wasn't very very young. I was a teen at that point. I was like 16, and it was a thoroughbred horse that my father had purchased. She's a racehorse, and she was pregnant, and they separated her from me, and she loves me. And they said that she wasn't listening to the trainer because I was there, and she was more interested in canoodling me. And so they took this leather strap and they hooked one part, they clipped one part to the bottom of her harness, and the other part to a harness that's on her chest. And they said they were going to break her of this bad habit of not allowing anyone to touch her head except for me, where she puts her head in my face, in my lap, in my hands, but she won't let anyone else touch her head. She'll lift her head real high. And so they said they were going to break her of that. And so they put this strap on and the harness on her head and the harness across her chest. And they were like, yeah, now we're going to make her trot. And I was just looking. They told me, stay over there. Don't say anything, because if she hears you, she's going to become rebellious again. And I sneezed. Her ears perked up. She had her back to me. She lifted her head like no big deal. She snapped that shit like no big deal. Oh, the trainer was so pissed. And I yelled at him. My dad wasn't there. That was my dad's friend. And I yelled at him. And he looked at me like he was going to tell my dad. And so I said to him, wait till I tell my father what you're doing to my horse. And he got quiet. You're going to tell my dad that I was, okay, let me tell him before you tell him that you told me to be quiet. His daughter. I'm going to tell my dad. So yeah, no, it's this thing of, if you know horses, you know how strong they actually are. Their neck alone, like Jesus Christ. I could dangle on her neck and she could like lift me up and down. Because she did that one time. Yeah, no, but here's the thing. You can wrap that harness around something small and they won't run. Why? Those mental shackles. Horses can be programmed rather easily, it seems. You can convince them of things. They have a lot of fear. And that fear is what causes them to be, you know, sometimes erratic and hard to control. But oftentimes, if you use the fear in a way to train them, they'll become much more compliant. You're not a horse. You're just not. Stop believing in what people say and using this fear to control you, to cause you to believe that you can't handle it. You can't this, you can't that. Who said? Well, so-and-so said, have they accomplished that? No. Why the fuck are you listening to them? Had these conversations with people. Had these conversations with people before. You know, like when I was going to move my mom to Colorado with me, and when my toxic sibling didn't want her to move with me, right? But I can't stay in California. So I'm preparing to move her, and he's trying to coerce me into not moving her. And he says, she's going to die in the snow. According to who? Who the hell told you that? And he's like, oh, my friend has lived in Colorado. Colorado snow is not real. It's not like real winter there. It'll snow, and within a day or two, the snow's melted and gone. Like, people be acting like I'm gonna leave my mom out in the patio, hose her down with a hose. Like, what is wrong with people? And I said, I've lived there. None of me or my children have died. We've been kept very, very warm inside the house. You know, they have heaters, they have fireplaces, we have electric blankets, we have all sorts of nice things that keep us warm inside a house. Why would you ever listen to someone who has never entered the place you are going to? Why? Because they're so convinced of the fear? Do you know how many things I have accomplished in my life simply because I refuse to listen to someone else telling me that it's impossible? And the only time that I ever fail at what I'm trying to accomplish is when I listen to someone else telling me it's impossible. That's the only time. That's the only time. I'm still upset. My husband bought a little pit bike. They're like pocket motorcycles, little tiny ones, right? They're my size. And I wanted to ride it so bad. And my husband knows that I have issues with balance. I'm not a very well coordinated person, you know? And it was all gravel and it was on a mountain. And he said I should not ride it. And he kept saying it and kept saying it and kept saying it and said that I would fall, I would fall, I would fall on the dirt road and gravel. I would break something. And then after like 20, 30 minutes telling me that, because he saw how upset I got, and he's like, all right, go ahead and try. You can do it. Fuck you. Now that you've convinced me I'm going to fall, I don't want to try now. I'm not going to write it now. I'm never going to write it. I'm not going to write it anymore. I'm still upset. Not at him, but at myself for like taking that in as my truth. And no, I never wrote it. Well, I wrote it, but I kept my feet down. And I was just like Barney Rubble. And in my husband's defense, I was Barney Rubbling the I was doing some Flintstone maneuver with my feet, and then the gravel gave way and I almost fell. So maybe he did know something. But still, it's like this whole thing of allowing myself to believe that I have a capability or a lack of capability that I haven't even tried to show myself yet, whether I can or I can't. You know what I mean? I should have never let that get in my head if I really wanted to try. And maybe there's a part of me that already probably believed that I would fall. Because I think that motorcycle thing was literally the only time that my husband has ever tried to convince me to not do something. I think that that's literally the only time in the entire 20 something years that we have been together. That is the only time. Like, he didn't want me to skydive, but he was just like, you're crazy. Let's see if you do it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the only time. Okay, let's see. Pisces have trouble maintaining boundaries. So we're at the Pisces card, I believe. Pisceans have trouble maintaining boundaries, sometimes even feeling half erased. If you have ever observed a Pisces, you may notice they don't appear as intelligent as they really are. You could even call them gullible or vague until they start cranking out words of genius. And they can be so psychically tuned in, it'll knock your socks off. I read that and it's almost like this sense of a person is just like they don't know what to do with their life and they want you to I don't know. I don't think they want you to fix their life. I think they want you. Whoa. Holy shit. They want you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Okay, so Michael says clarity. We need more clarity. So I'm assuming clarity on what I had shared earlier, where it's like if we're in a relationship and you have a child with someone else, that the relationship is just done. That's absolute deal breaker, right? Like I cannot work through that. That's just done. You've started a life with someone else now. Okay. And that go live your life without her said. But at the same time, it's this thing of like, which I didn't clarify earlier. Had I been single right now, which I'm not single. Had I been single right now and it was me in this situation, not in this situation, but it was me single, I'm, interested in starting some type of long-term relationship with a person. If you already have kids, like those are your children. They're your number one priority. I will figure out a way on my end to peacefully coexist with your children and their mother. You had those children before you met me. I don't expect you to have anticipated that I exist and that, we would be in a romantic relationship and yada, yada, yada. Like, no. You had a right to live your life before you ever knew I existed. And if children were part of your life before I came along, I have to always honor and cherish these extensions of you. That's what children are. They're your heart existing outside of you. So if I love you, as part of my love for you, I will love your children like I gave them life. I will love them to that degree. So it's not this thing of, you should only date someone that has no children. Like, depending on what age you're at this point, the likelihood of you finding someone with absolutely no children is probably slim to none. Someone who is a good match for you, someone who you can invest yourself in, like, slim to none. You know what I mean? Um, so I think that's the clarity that Michael is encouraging me to give. Like, there's a difference between you and I trying to work out the issues in our relationship, and then you go outside of that relationship and have a child with someone else. Like, that's done now. That is done. Our romantic connection, that's done. um, Versus, you and I meeting and you already have children with someone else. Like, let me get to know your children. Let your children get to know me. Hell, I'm willing to get to know their mother so that they understand who their children are around. And I'm not going to be interfering in the parenting. I'm not trying to take their mother's place. Kind of just that type of mindset where understanding I have a very specific place within that already established family dynamic. Now, the mother and father might not have a romantic relationship anymore, but that is still an already established family dynamic. And I think a lot of what goes on is that, the women are pit against each other because of what society is programming us to believe. I've said this before. Should there ever come a day where my husband and I are not in a romantic relationship anymore, there is no man that is going to be a new father to my children. If my children bond with a man that I am dating and they choose on their own to refer to him as dad, because that's the type of relationship connection they have organically established with each other, that's up to you guys. You don't have to call him dad. You have a dad. You have an amazing dad, you know? And there's no like, I'm going to have to be fighting with this other woman who's going to take my place. Like, no, no one's going to ever take my place as their mother. But if another woman can love my children as though she gave birth to them, oh my God, I would celebrate you. You didn't take my husband or children from me. You added to the richness of their life. Being secure in yourself and your value within your family, so important. It is so important. And maybe that's what this is really about, this reading. Maybe that's why all of this information is coming out, because what if everything you're about to struggle through really just comes from this place within your heart's garden where you were never allowed to feel the true gravity and value of you and your position within the family unit? Because oftentimes the Pisceans, the empaths, we're the ones that take care of the family members. We're the ones that organize everything. We're the peacekeepers. We're all this and we're all that, right? And it's not to say that there are no toxic empaths and toxic Pisceans, okay? It's not to say that. We all have toxicity of some kind. And for some of us, that level of toxicity far, far, far outweighs any goodness and softness and vulnerability that we're capable of. So this is about really allowing yourself to see who you are and where you're at within your life. A lot of things are changing. Just so much, so much, so much, so much is changing in the world, within relationships, within connections, family units, all of this and all of that. You have to allow yourself to shift right along with it, not be blown away by it, not be coerced and bent out of shape, but to beautifully shift, to to beautifully shift. Oh, that's so potent, Ocean Lover. She wrote, can't stand to see adults holding grudges against children for the decisions of their parents. Yeah, same. Same. I cannot stand people who weaponize children, even if the children are adult children. I cannot stand that at all, at all, at all. Like, at all. Mm, 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 mm. I'm going to leave that topic alone. Let me go to the final card, card number 30. Sixth house routine. The body is a sacred garment. You must change your usual way of looking at things, which is what this reading is about. That's literally what it says. You must change your usual way of looking at things. All right. Let's see. Excuse me. The sixth house is all about duty, responsibility, and gainful employment. It shows how hard you work, how organized you are, how much you worry, and what you do on a daily 9 to 5 basis. This is why it's also looked upon as a house of the job, how you earn a living as an everyday citizen. When this card turns up, a job change is possible. Also, I feel like it ties into this life of obligation, this obligatory existence, where you feel like you have to do this, you have to do that, just because this is what society tells you to do. If society told you to hate your own people, would you? If society told you to hate yourself because society could not, in any way, shape, or form, accept you as you are, would you? Society, for my lifetime, has told me my people and my culture, it's not enough. You know, it's not enough. It's somehow inferior to the people and cultures of those who colonized my people once upon a time. It's just not enough. I don't give a shit what you think. I don't. Once upon a time, society told me that I should hate myself. Why? Because I don't operate within the box. I fail miserably when it comes to anything to do with boxes. Should I hate myself? No, fuck you. I'm not doing shit you tell me to do. Does that make me a bad person? That clearly makes me combative, hard to control. And I think that's what makes me just so absolutely irresistible. My rebelliousness. You really never know what you're going to get with me, right? Yeah. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. You want me to care about what you like? And if I don't? If I disregard what your expectation is of me, just like how you disregard the reality of my existence and purpose, what now? What now? Nothing. We both still continue to exist. We both still continue to have whatever mindset that we have, whatever life that erupts from the decisions that we make. So then what now? What point am I trying to make? A very sharp point. The sharpness of that point is enough to pierce through the illusion that we are force fed day in and day out. And what is that illusion? That you have to do something just because someone told you to. I don't have to do anything that does not align with the reality as I know it to be. I do not have to accept anything that does not feel acceptable to me. I don't. Why not? You think you're better than everyone? No, I think I'm better than who you're telling me to be. You and your worth, that's none of my business. That's none of my concern. See, I cannot control you. And if you feel inferior to me in some way, That's something you're going through. That's a belief someone else ingrained into you. And I will not accept your want and need to punish and blame me for shit that existed inside you before you ever knew I existed. See that right there? See that right there? People want you to play along with their toxicity, with the bullshit that they've been programmed with before they ever knew you existed. No, I refuse. I'm not going to cooperate. I refuse. So then what? I don't know. I don't know. So in my history, people wanted me to cooperate and it felt like a cult at that point. So I stopped cooperating. And then I was like, what? No. Well, you're going to be removed. Well, I didn't like the cult anyways. So then what now? Well, we're going to tell people to not to support you. Okay, but I'm not very social, so my worth is not contingent on how many people are willing to support me. I kind of just exist, you know? So I mean, you can tell whoever you want to not support me, and it's not going to matter to me. So then what now? We're going to say a lot of ugly things about you, but is it the truth? Yes. Can you prove it? Well, so and so said so something something. Okay, can they prove it? I don't know. So then what does it matter? Well, people will hear it and they'll believe it. But if it's a lie, then you're spreading lies. That's slander and libel. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the type of fight you're about to have delivered to your doorstep? No, you can't do that. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Because you said so? And they couldn't say anything. They couldn't say anything. To the point where this cult leader told all of their followers, because I have a sword design, right? I have a crystal sword that I designed and I patented that design. I'm not joking, it's patented. So I patented the design and I made it clear. This is a patented, federally protected design. If I see you knocking off my design and selling it, attempting to monetize from your hatred of me, unjustified, unfounded hatred of me, you'll receive legal action. At which point, this person tried to say they're lying. There's no way they could have patented it. Patents take so long. There's no way unless they paid up the ass for that. I didn't say a word when I did my next sword auction. The serial numbers for the patents were posted. I have multiple patents for my sword design. I don't fuck around. And yeah, I paid up the ass to expedite it. And yes, I didn't do it myself. I paid a lawyer to do it. I had to go through that process and be exposed to those type of people to understand the gravity of the need for me to protect what is rightfully mine. It is rightfully my design. It was not inspired by anyone else. I was instructed by my soul on how to create these swords. And you will not monetize off of me and my integrity while you exist as a hateful person. Exactly. It's a case of fuck around and find out. And all I said, wow, I hope your leader is going to be the one to pay your legal fees because I will go after you. And if I go after you, it has to justify the cost. It has to justify the cost of me having my legal team do all of that. So I'm going to take everything I can from you. See, I'm not just going to warn you. If I'm going to be paying up the ass for retainers, I'm going to be taking your wages and your assets. And I'm not joking. You can fuck around and find out, or you could leave me in my peace. Design a different thing. It's very simple. It's very simple. And people will have told me that I'm just being so selfish. Like, why? I don't own that. Actually, the federal government says I do. They say I do. What? That's just so greedy. I mean, like, why can't other people have abundance like you? Oh, they can. They just can't knock off my design. Try telling that to Louis Vuitton. Tell that to Gucci. Tell that to any corporation that owns a valuable asset and has invested in a design and functionality patent. Yeah, no. You don't get to monetize off of someone else's inspiration. Monetize off your own. And it's okay for you to begin recognizing you yourself are an asset. You are quite possibly your greatest asset. And if you want to allow someone else to taint your assets, to taint the integrity of what you created, these swords are like my babies. They came from me. They're made of me. You will not hoe out my babies. No. And I do believe I'm at a year where I can apply for trade dress. You know what that means? Really fuck around and find out. And here's the thing. As a Piscean, and people knew this about me, I don't really like conflict. Like, if I see you're struggling, if I see you're an idiot and that's why you do the shit you do because you lack the intelligence, it's hard for me to remain in that space of like, I'm going to take legal action and stuff, right? Like, it's really, really hard for me to do that. And these people knew that I wasn't going to actually take legal action. And so what happened? They kept right on selling it. So what did I do? I stopped selling it. So what effect did that have? If people are buying it from you because they've seen me selling it, they're not buying it because of the design. They're buying it because of its association with me, my integrity, and my power. So they're trying to buy from you counterfeit Emmy. No. Until a few months ago, I completely stopped selling swords for a few years. Completely tanked the whole market. No one could sell jack squat. Why? Because I am the market. Understand the gravity of you and what you represent. Understand that. Understand the gravity of that. If the swords were not attached to me and therefore I should not feel like I have any claim on any of that and I'm just being a bitch, why did the entire market crash the moment I stopped selling swords? They weren't after the swords. They weren't after the design. They wanted a piece of me. I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around the gravity of that. Not even going to lie. I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around the gravity of how much other people want a piece of something that came from me. But just because I struggle with the gravity of that, it doesn't mean I get to pretend like the gravity doesn't exist. It means I have to always be responsible in the ways with which I handle things like that. I'm at a point now, no, I don't care if you lack intelligence. I don't care if you're selling things that are counterfeit, Emmy, because you want to create abundance for yourself. I will protect me, my assets, and my energy. No more hesitation. No more excuses for people. None. None at all. And I invite you to join me in that space where you're no longer making excuses for other people as well, where you are allowing yourself to see the true gravity of the type of energy and space you hold. I used to say, people just don't know any better. How are they going to know any better if you don't encourage them to? These days, people have been encouraged to the degree that these are not empty words that come out of my mouth. I will not be making excuses for you. If you want to try, you can. You're welcome to. That's your choice. But that comes with the very real potentiality of fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Allowing myself to begin really stepping out of that mindset of minimizing the work that I do. I know I'm not the only one that continuously minimizes the gravity of the work that I do. I know many of you do this, minimizing the importance of your presence in my journey, in my life, in other people's lives. Like, we got to stop with that. We really, really have to stop with that. We have to stop, this analogy of like you continuing to fornicate with your own insecurities, your own toxicity, and then acting like you're surprised that all of a sudden you've spawned Satan in your life. Like, no, stop. Stop. Stop commingling with the parts of you that continue to drag you into these places of toxicity that still exist within you. Now, I've said before, you don't have to destroy your toxicity. You don't have to do any of that kind of crazy stuff. You don't have to destroy your ego. You don't have to, none of that. No, no. What you need to do is learn to accept yourself as you are. Just really allowing yourself to come to terms with how beautiful, how important, how valued, how cherished you are by others and hopefully by you as well. It's really important for us to go beyond what we think we can grow through in this period, just slightly beyond it. Push yourself just a little bit more and just a little bit more. And then eventually you'll see yourself in a place that you never thought you could reach. You'll get there. You'll get there. Alexandra, I'm still celebrating you and your accomplishment, girlfriend. You got there. You had this goal. Alexandra had this goal for so long that she was trying to reach, to accomplish, and she struggled through it and struggled through it. And it was a very difficult process for her. And then one day she made the decision to no longer struggle through it, to allow me to help her empower herself. And in that, she made the decision to continue that journey of self empowerment. All I did was be her cheerleader on the sidelines. Go, girl, go, keep going, keep going. And she kept going. She kept going even beyond the end zone. She kept going beyond the stadium, beyond the parking lot, beyond the city limits. She's not playing that game anymore. She's not part of that game. She refuses to play that game. So powerful. That is so, so, so powerful. Not just to recognize what needs to be done for you, for your health, for your well-being, but also for your peace. Making that decision and sticking to it, allowing yourself to really just be as empowered as you possibly can be in your own journey. That's powerful. That's beautiful. I love all of that. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. I'm going to be heading over in maybe 15, 20 minutes or so to the soulsanctuary.love. We're going to be talking in the membership section, membership area. If you are a member, please join me around 9:15ish, 9:15 Pacific Standard Time. I'll have all of that set up. I wasn't expecting to talk with you guys today, but it seems like we need to. We're going to be talking about some pretty intense things, okay? Pretty intense things that might be a little bit scary or concerning. We're going to push through that conversation to the point of empowerment. These are things that involve a lot of the messages that I've been getting from my soul about specific world events and things like that. So I hope you guys can make it. And again, there's still time if you want to join that membership. There's different tiers of membership. You have time to do that. The link is it's on the screen, the soulsanctuary.love. I'll be going live there around maybe 9:15ish Pacific Standard Time today to talk. Okay. So you guys keep your head on your shoulders. You will get through this period. You will get through life. You will get through every single lesson that's brought before you. Okay? You have all of this potentiality that you are being asked to tap into by your soul. Now is the time to find the courage to do that. There are so many of us, so many of us that are able and willing to assist in your process of empowerment. Okay. Are these recorded? This live stream, or do you mean the Soul Sanctuary? Both live streams are recorded. Whichever one you're asking about, they're both recorded. All of the conversations that I have with the exclusive members area, that's all recorded. You could see previous conversations as well. I have archived like a ton of my content from when I was running daily meditations, like all sorts. Y'all have no idea. I have thousands upon thousands of videos. We're still in the process of archiving, but they will eventually be loaded onto the membership area, like thousands of videos with just the most potent type of content. Yeah. There were videos that I've seen from a couple years back, and I'm over here like, oh my God, this is profound, because I don't watch my live streams. Yeah. And it blew me away because it totally applies to what I'm going through right now in my life. The messages that I have, that I share with you guys, these are timeless messages. Notice how I don't put dates on any of my readings. They're timeless. And then they circle back around. I see on my memories from Facebook, my personal profile, I'll post certain types of things, and then I'll be reminded a year later, 2 years later, however many years later. Facebook will give me a notification that I have memories from that specific day. And I'll look, and I swear it's the same freaking type of content that I was going through then. It's still happening now. Like, and it just started now. You know what I mean? So there's so much in the membership stuff. And I've maybe I shouldn't say. I've been archiving a lot of things for a lot of potentialities, the different potentialities that are being slated, not just conversations, instructional things. These things, I want everyone to make sure they feel empowered through any type of situation you personally or globally experience. Um, yeah. And at some point there will be, and I hope it's soon, there will be a section that's just this community area. And, there will be different tabs there where um, certain types of struggles, especially, with our tweeners. Okay. A lot of the tweeners are going through the same type of struggles. They're very real struggles. They're not imagined. These are not just dramatic emo children. No, they're actually going through something. And it's important for parents to see that, it's not just you. Like, a lot of kids the same age or close to the same age as your child, you guys are all going through the same type of things. It wasn't you messing up as a parent. There are programs being run, and you need help in advocating for your child and understanding how you didn't mess up. You didn't break your kid. You know what I mean? There are things that have been done, and we need to support each other. So it's going to be a whole like village section. And then eventually, hopefully this year is what I feel, uh, I will have a project that I'll release more information, and you guys can be a part of the groundwork for that. But eventually, I have every intention of opening a soul sanctuary, physical sanctuary. Um, it's going to be amazing. I care what's happening in the world, but I'm not going to allow myself to use the suffering that's occurring and the escalation of that suffering um, to stop me from implementing what I came into this life to do. I believe very, very strongly and very, very deeply. A large part of my purpose is to counteract a lot of what's happening. And I can't do that if I continue to drag my feet and allow myself to have excuses as to why I have to wait, why I have to wait. You guys have waited enough years. Fuck that shit. No, no, no more waiting. Just moving forward, not rushing either. We're not running. We're not dragging our feet. We're walking at a healthy pace. Some days we'll be able to jog. Other days we need to take it really slow. All those days are very valid, very, very, very valid needs. But no matter what, we're getting at that end zone. No matter what, something will exist before the end of this year. No matter what. We're going to make it happen. I know I'm not doing it alone. We're going to make it happen. It will happen. And I will not entertain any other thought outside of it will happen. It's already in the process of happening. And that's that. So tomorrow I'll be live with the Soul Sanctuary podcast, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the M Evolving channel. And I will also be live streaming concurrently on the Soul Sanctuary podcast page on Facebook. Okay. So I will see you guys tomorrow. For the members and anyone who wants to be a member today, I'll catch you guys on the soulsanctuary.love in the members area. It'll be in the exclusive content area in the members tabs. I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes or so. All right. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And, if you're listening to this from the podcast app that you're on, please interact with the track, share it out, like it, rate my I don't know what you guys do. Whatever it is you guys do, I'll figure it out sometime soon, and then I'll have an idea of what to say to encourage you. But until then, I hope you guys join me often, and I hope everyone has an amazing day despite what's going on in the world. For those who are in areas of suffering, elevated suffering in the world, um, I hope peace returns to your region very soon. It will. It will. Bye, everyone.